let's move on to Dolphins at Commanders. We have the best matchup for Tua. Good Lord, this has Denver written all over it. And the 14th best matchup for Howell. Tua has got to be high. He's 4. And where the hell is Sam Howell? Sam Howell is 7. So fire up both quarterbacks in this one. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
hang on. I've got the results of our poll. Dustin Hopkins is the kicker 1 with 118 points. DeAndre Hopkins 134 PPR points.
Hopkins can catch him this week. He might catch him this week.
Not against Indy. He's good. He's getting in the end zone.
Oh man, yeah. Let's hope so. We desperately need it. It's all right. Yeah. So Tua finally gets a good matchup. So we're back to like rolling with elite Tua this week because this Washington defense is atrocious. They literally cannot stop anyone. They can't pressure the quarterback. They can't stop a run. Like they can't do a damn thing. So we saw any team going against them. We saw Dak light them up. We saw Geno light them up. It doesn't matter. Like they're just getting destroyed. So Tua, like you start him, he's like my QB2 this week. Like we are firing Tua up everywhere and riding with Tua. And
that's the best scenario though, because the Dolphins are total frauds and can't score against a good defense. So I think I wrote that in my start sit that they're total frauds and can't score. Luckily, the Commanders are not a good defense. So start them.
No, they're not. There's college defense better than them right now. It's just rough. Yeah.
Look at these rankings: first, second, first, third. They're good against tight ends apparently, but you weren't playing Durham Smythe anyway. So
exactly right.
Well, they traded away all the good players. You know that's what happens. You know, Ron Rivera's done. The whole team is done. Tua, you got 2 weeks in a row. Washington and Tennessee, fire him up. Otherwise, the Jets again, Dallas, and Baltimore to end the season. So if you can trade him at any point after a good game, do it. Otherwise, Sam Howell will volume his way to a decent game, but it'll be tough for him to sneak into the QB1 conversation this week, I think.
Hey, don't you shit talk Josh Allen light.
I enjoy Sam Howell, but he's no longer the QB4. I think he's QB6 now, so he's dropping a little bit. We need
apart.
Yeah, we need Sam Howell to step it up here at the end.
All right, running backs, 12th best matchup for the Dolphins, 23rd best matchup for the Commanders. And despite this, I feel like every week I'm really low on Robinson. And I have him as RB20. He's like RB3 on the season. And for some reason, my projections still can't get him up any higher. Yeah, I'm going to move him up manually here to RB14.
Yeah, they're all clumped together in rankings this week, like including A-Chain, Mostert, and like Robinson. So I need to adjust these rankings because it's all 24, 25, and 27. And I'm like, no, we're fixing that. Like that's way too low for those guys. But yeah, like this is the ideal matchup. I get it. Like the fantasy play's not been the best, but Mostert and A-Chain could easily find the end zone, have big plays and all of that. So you want to start both of them, fire them up. And B-Rob, his role is fantastic. So rankings and projections might have him that high, but like he's a solid RB2 at worst case for you. Like he's just going to get the volume and do all of that. Gibson's healthy, so he might cut into a little bit of his role. Right. But overall, like you still fire up Robinson.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was going to say is that we know that Washington's going to be down, so Gibson could see some work. I'm not trusting it because I think Curtis Samuel probably goes nuclear again this week. But yeah, Robinson is a smash play, although I would like the Dolphins backs over him.
Wide receiver, second best matchup for Miami. Good God. 13th best for Washington. So I probably am going to have 3 smash starts here. I assume Hill is Hill's my wide receiver 1. Waddle is my 7. And Terry McLaurin is 15 for me. Where do you guys see this?
I'm trying to find McLaurin. Where is
I have Samuel at 35, and I don't even know where I have Dotson. Dotson at 39. So I have 5 top 40 wide receivers in this one. I'm expecting a lot of defense.
On McLaurin, real quick, over the last, it looks like 7 weeks, he's had a low of 7 targets. He's just only scored 1 touchdown, so he's not really converting into high-end fantasy points. That's really his issue. The volume is there. The problem is Howell isn't super accurate, so they're not always connecting. And then the lack of touchdowns is the problem for him. But the role is awesome. So you wish he could be converting more, but it's not a Terry McLaurin problem, that's for sure. So yeah, I like him, but I also like Curtis Samuel. I think they just need him. The problem is he's not consistent week to week. That's really why I have him on a squad or two. I can just never bring myself to start him over more reliable options, but he's a nice boom in a great boom spot, I think. to do it again this week. Yeah, and on the other side, you're firing up Hill and Waddle and expecting massive days.
Yeah, I think Samuel is the perfect best ball guy because, like you're saying, you can't. It's impossible to start him. I mean, this week with all the injuries and the buys, like I actually don't mind flexing him. Like it could work out. It's just Dotson's been incredibly disappointing. As good as McLaurin's role is, he's been disappointing once again in fantasy. So we kind of just, it is what it is with him. Like they're throwing it 40 plus times a game, and these two wide receivers are still getting
45.
Yeah, so it's still rough. Like you're like, this is the perfect situation. It's still not working out. So that's a little bit on the wide receivers as the quarterback. But yeah, like Samuel's just throwing on their side. He's a good player. Like it is what it is. And the other two, like you don't even talk about each fire Hill and Waddle up and expect a $115 touchdown from each one, basically.
Yeah.
Tight ends, I have Durham Smythe outside 25. I have Logan Thomas as a low-end tight end 1. He's 12. He can volume his way. Sly, I want nothing to do with. He's been bad, and it's a bad matchup. Sanders, I have as my kicker 6 on the week, and he was one of my streamers in my article. I'd like to fire him up. The Dolphins were also a defense I have in the article. They are my DST 1 on the week in this lovely matchup. And the Commanders are DST or a 13th best matchup. I want no part of them. So fire up Thomas if you need him. And both Sanders and the Dolphins DST are solid streaming options and are on waivers in a lot of leagues because they were it's amazing. I've had a lot of leagues where I've been streaming positions this year. So I've been streaming. I streamed both of them a lot this week.